Hello, everyone. I'm Sakit Kashyap, and we have a fish setup in Bihar called Kash Fisheries. So today I will be talking about the different problems we faced during the process we started and the problem which we are facing today. So we started our fish farming hatchery business in 2016. We were traditionally doing some fish breeding for our self-consumptions. So we had some ponds which we were using for self-consumption. We used to put seed fish, small fishes, and we used to grow them, and we used to sell them for self-consumption. But in 2016, my father he started this hatchery business with the help of state government. There was a scheme where they were telling to start the hatching business. So we started with a single rearing, two rearing pond and one the breeding pool in 2016. And this was the time when we first started. In the first season, we started with the problems like we had labor problem. We didn't have, it was so difficult to find the skilled laborers at that time when we started. So second problem, I'll go into details on the problem one by one, but I'm just listing down the problems which we started facing. Then the second problem, we had the quality of the brood which we used to get in our area. It was not that healthy, and the seeds were not that matured. The third problem was more of a technical side. It was swelling of the eggs after fertilization. The swelling was not happening properly, and the spawn which was getting recovered, the recovery was very low. It was devastating. It was not sustainable at all. Third was the water parameters. It was varying here and there. The parameters were every time we used to get the water tested, the result was totally different. So the lab quality, which was around for testing, because it was a new setup and the government has started, it was a new initiative. The lab qualities and the technicians in the labs were also not that great. The equipments of the labs were also not that good. So the results were always varying and we never used to get the correct result with the help of the local testing labs which we had around. So now I'll go into the problems which we faced one by one into details. So the first problem which we faced was the labor. Uh, i- fish fishermen are means they are everywhere, but the quality of labors, with the skilled labors which we required for setting up a hatchery, for breeding, what injections has to be given, how the brooder has to be treated. This was very difficult at the initial stage because we ourselves were not doing that part. We were not that much trained into uh, breeding fish. So we were relying on the labors, skilled labors for that. And it was so difficult to find skilled labors in the local area. It was really impossible. The few which has learned from here and there, they had a half baked knowledge. So they used to tell something one time, the next time they used to tell something. So for this, we went to Calcutta, and from there we got a few skilled labors. We when they came, at least we came to know, okay, this is how the things has to be moved on. So the first was the getting the labors. When the labors came, then we came to know that the brooders which we have are not that good quality, and we need to get better brooders. So again, getting a brooder from, because all the brooders are not that mature. Even the brooders which were there in the local other ponds, nearby ponds, were not that well fed. They were not taken care of properly. So for this, again, there was a problem of the quality of brooders which we were getting. So for this, we relied. We luckily we had Ganga and Ganda, two rivers crossing by our village nearby. So we went to the rivers. We got some fresh brooders from the river, and that problem was somehow sorted out of the brooders. Then once we started the breeding, we suddenly started seeing that we were getting good quality of seeds, eggs was coming out properly, everything was properly. But initially, the swelling of the seed eggs were not happening that properly. So some was getting not swelling at all, some was get swelling, but it was not that adequate. And this problem we faced for sometimes it was happening correctly, sometimes it was not happening correctly. So there were again we did a number of experiments to make it proper. Before we had a bore well of 200 meters, so we using directly the borewell water into the tanks and then we using that water. So we went to the scientists and they told us that there will be some problem with the water quality. So you have to get your water tested. We got the water, everything was okay. So some scientists, they came from the fishery department uh, to see what was the problem. And it was definitely something to do with the water quality. So we came up with the idea that we started mixing the pond water into the tank water, and then we used to do the breeding. It it again it was not that reliable. Sometimes we used to get good results, sometimes it was not that good. Again, the how much water is getting mixed, because it was just putting a borewell, pushing the water into the overhead tank, and the pond water also into overhead tank. It was the ratio was not that correct. So what we did, we made four tanks. We used to distribute the borewell water into the tank, one tank, and then from one tank to the another to the next tank. And we used to put this, store this borewell water into the water overhead, the mud tanks for around 4 to 5 days in one tank. And after around 1 month, we used to use that water, put into the overhead tank, and then we started doing the breeding. So the again after all this cycle, the breeding started happening properly, but this was again not a sustainable model to circulate the water for 4 weeks in one tank to another tank, another to another tank, and then put it on overhead and then do the breeding. So we thought that okay, what there is some parameter is getting changed, which is not getting caught in the local testing labs. So then we connected ICAR Patna, uh, and we had two scientists over there, Kamal Sharma and Tuntun Singh. Tuntun Singh is from state government and Kamal Sharma was from ICAR. We had a lot of discussion and they agreed to visit our site, and they brought the complete testing lab package, everything over there, and we did the testing over there. And then we came to know the hardness of water was varying. The it was in hard water, the level at which we were doing the borewell was there. So at least we were happy that we came to know what is the problem which we are facing, and it was because of the hardness of the water. Again, to get rid of it, we had to get a new borewell done at 400 meters down, and that time again we tested the hardness of the water. The quality of water improved. It was not very good, but the hardness has gone. And in 2000, we started in 2016. The first season, it was very bad. So it went just doing the experiments, putting the tanks, creating four tanks, then circulating water. In 2017, again, we started the struggle of getting the correct labor, because the labor, they come on a contract for 1 year and then they leave and then they go find somewhere else. So every year we used to go hunt for a new set of laborers, skilled laborers who can do the breeding and everything. And then the challenge of quality brood was always there. And the second year, again, at least first year we had the quality, got the brooders correct. The second year in 2017, uh, by the end when the season was getting ended, we corrected ICAR and the state government scientists, they came. We found out the hardness was has somewhere gone. So the second, from the third year starting, uh, we initially only checked all the parameters, everything was correct, and then we started the breeding. That time again, the production went really high, and that time was a good outcome which we saw, and uh, even the brooders were got improved. Everything was having correct. But again, the quality of uh, the spawns which were getting uh, produced was not that great. It's, according to the standard, it was good. We were doing good business, but we were not that satisfied. So this is when we got connected with IC Freshwater Aquaculture Research Center, Bhubaneswar, and there was a program going on that time about the SIFA brood. It was a special feed which was being made just for production of for the brooders, feeding the brooders, so they give better seed quality and other things. It was a special food which was derived just for feeding the brooders. So it was a program, experimental program. We tied up with ICAR Bhubaneswar, and we got the first lot of feeds in September 2017, around December. So for 3 months, we feeded all the brooders with that feed. And in 2018, first season in March, we started the breeding. That time, the quality and the production really went up. It was like one-fold or two-fold, you can say. Uh, it went up. From then, in 2018, we moved from one pool. We created out seven pool, three or four extra reading pool was created. Breeding, different breeding pools were created, and this is where the real growth of our hatchery happened. So, to sum things up, definitely the skilled labor, which we still face a problem to give a, because see, even if we get from West Bengal or any state which have skilled laborers, we are trying to generate skill levels in-house also, but the real scientific reasons and they're not that educated to get the real crux of why we are doing for what they know things from experience, or they have worked over a period of time, so they know how to do it. So this is how it is going on. So the skill level is definitely still a problem. The brooders change. The brooder management is again a challenge, because we have to keep changing. We generally keep the same brooder for 2 years, and then we change, get a fresh lot of brooders, and get rid of the old brooders. So brood management is second bit which is being challenge. We are facing difficulty in the egg production, swelling, and the technical stuff which we were facing after the seed was fertilized. That we have got rid of. So, and the third major is the marketing. That again, that is again the local dependent. So we have to work on those areas. So currently we are facing three, four major problems. That one is of labor, which is there, the what proper testing labs and trainings, the new technologies, and which has to be, we have to, farmers has to be educated. And some technologies which are coming are not that farmer friendly, or not, they're not that pocket friendly, because the new technology which we put in, or things which we put in, definitely increases the cost of our production. So the sustainability is also not good. And we have seen that a lot of uh, new hatcheries are getting created, and they don't look at the quality of the production or the quality of seed, and they sell at quite low price. So there is no standardization of, or we can say, the quality parameters to measure what kind of seed you are producing. So those things are, we always tell in the different forums to put some quality measures on the seed production. So the consumer who are buying at least knows what quality of seeds they are buying. Is it good quality or not good quality? Because um, even if you are not a good quality seed producer, you can sell it for the quite low price. And if you are a good quality, you can't go that low. So that price challenge is always there. So these are the few problems. Sorry, but my father, he suddenly had some medical conditions, so he was not present. So I hope I've clear out things. If you have any questions, I will request host to.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful talk. I will take up the questions from the participants now. The first question is, how does water quality affect fish breeding success and what issues can arise?
See, water quality is the major parameters which is there. I'll tell you the hardness. When once the seed is fertilized, we rotate the seed for around 72 hours. The first stage is the egg starts swelling, and then the fish inside the egg is born, and then the break can come out and then become a spawn. So if the water is hard, the egg cell becomes a bit harder in the water, and that doesn't allow the fish to uh, the baby fish to come out. So this is so the parameters I will definitely suggest to get the water parameters, all the parameters checked, because anything if it is little bit acidic, the things they change, the production will go down. uh, Second thing, post-production also, like in the first 24 hours, the eggs they come out of the eggs, and then the next 24 hours they move around. So in that also we have seen if the water quality is not good, like when we were mixing the pond water into the overtank head. Uh, so that time we used to see there were some small bacteria in the pond water because it was drying around for 4 days in open pot. So that also there were fungal attacks which were happening. We faced few times due to fungus, little bit fungus also. The things that in within a span of like 1 hour, everything will go from you have a good around uh, around 50 liters of seed going around, and then suddenly they will start dying, and within an hour everything will go to zero. So water quality and the its parameters, like the hidden parameters, the ammonia level, the hardness of the water, the salinity, the acidity, all this has to be proper. And other than this, the water has to be clean. We even currently what we are doing, we have created sour kind of structure on the overhead tank. So that the oxygen, dissolved oxygen, because when we take water out of the ground, the dissolved oxygen is not that good. So what we have noticed that that also had an effect. So we have created a sour kind of structure where we pump the water coming out of the ground into that structure, and it falls down, gaining some oxygen, dissolved oxygen. So that is also have improved. So this is again what I was saying. All these small things which we are doing is out of our knowledge or our experiment which we are doing around. We don't have any proper channel where what are the things which is required, what will affect what things. This is where the skill labor or with help of scientists, because see scientists again they are not located at the site, so they can't measure everything, each and everything, and suggest. They can give a theoretical thing, and again what is happening with you, you have to manage. So these are small things which we discuss and they suggest, or we come up with an idea and then we implement it. So this is how it is going. Currently, things are fine, but again, if some problem comes up, we have to deal with it accordingly.
Okay.
So yeah,
What role does temperature regulation play in fish breeding, and what problems can arise if not properly controlled?
see, we are from Bihar, so I'll tell you a practical example. Breeding in like West Bengal, they started early March, and they go until the end of July or first week of August. We used to, and in Bihar the temperature is like we have a good winter with and my where my village is, it is near to Nepal, so we have winter till end of March also starting, we have a chilly weather. It's not like 30, 36 degrees. It goes around 25, 26 degrees in March. So when we start the season in March, we have seen that sometimes the production is not that good. But the moment we move into June, July, and when the temperature goes high, the and May, June, May, and we have seen that when the real summer is there, when the temperature is 45, 46 degrees, again the production goes down. And again in June, when the summer, this rainy season started, the temperature is around 35, 36 degrees. So this time the production is the best, and we have seen really growth, the yield, means the number of seeds which we put in after fertilization and the output which we get is really increased in the this during the when the temperature is around 35 to 36 degrees. Um, so definitely there is an important role of the temperature, but again, see, controlling the temperature and the external environment, because this is something not like recirculating where you can completely take care of the temperature and it's not that we can't take, but if we go that direction, the cost of production of seed will tremendously go high. It's good to have where we can maintain the temperature, we can control all the parameters, but it's not practically possible to operate in those conditions uh, because the keeping the temperature is also a big task. But generally, it helps if the weather condition is favorable to you, or you set up a hatchery in the areas where we have moderate temperature throughout the year.
Okay. One of our member, Mr. Mohan, is asking, how about freshwater shrimps in Caribbean? Is it good, sir?
We have not done freshwater since in Caribbean, but we were trying to do it with help of Sifri Bhubaneswar, where we were planning to do it biofloc shrimp production, but that didn't work out. The first time it was not that good, so we dropped it. So I won't be able to tell about the shrimp that much because we're not practically being a farmer. We have not tried it, so it won't be nice for me to comment on that.
Okay. Are there any specific disease or health issues that commonly impact fish breeding, and how are they managed?
See, the breeding is they are so small that generally you don't get that much of a disease kind of. But fungal attack is one of the things which generally affect the breeding. So after the the egg has been fertilized and you are rotating, if the proper cleaning of when the egg cells break, the eggs are generally floating. So we have to clean the eggs continuously for like 1 or 2 days till it is breaking. Otherwise, what happens? It creates a lot of ammonia inside the water, and which will suddenly kill all the baby fish which is there. So one is cleaning the egg cells continuously. So one person has to be there 24/7 who is just every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he keeps cleaning the egg cells which is getting accumulated on the water, on top of the water. Second is the fungal attack. If there are any dead skins or anything which get deposited at the bottom, or any dead spawn babies, if they start dying, little mortality will be there. So if they get collected at the bottom, so we have to clean it regularly. So the fungal doesn't get formed. Otherwise, fungus, if there is a little bit of fungus also, it can damage your fish every time. And the third is once the hatching is complete, we generally clean the hatching pool and the breeding pool properly with uh, solutions. So the again it's again fungal control, that there is no fungus or anything which is microbial dead skins or dead cells which is there, which can affect pollute the water which is getting there for the next breed. So mainly is around managing the fungal and the cleaning the water regularly when it is breeding.
Okay. What are some potential problems related to feeding during the breeding process?
See, feeding makes an important thing when you are doing a brooder management. So it is not like you can feed the fish today and it will become healthy tomorrow. It's a habit which we have to develop. So we generally what we do, we separate the female fish in the starting only and the male fish in the starting, and we feed differently to both the fishes. We again, as I told you, there was special feed which were produced by Sifa Bhubaneswar. It was called Sifa Brood, which was meant just for breeding seasons only. It was uh, I I won't be able to tell the combination of what they put in there, but it was a special food which was it was done a research and we came out with that food, which which I personally used it, so I can tell you it definitely helped the uh, fish brooders to get healthy eggs and the males to get the healthy semen to produce a healthy baby. It's again the how you manage the brooders in the starting and how healthy they are, that definitely affects the production which we are doing post the hatching. Once the hatching is done.
Okay. How does the selection of breeding pairs influence successful reproduction and what difficulties can arise in this area?
Again, I did related to the last question. We have to see uh, there is if it's a genetic thing. See, the female they give eggs. So if we are doing a stepping process, so we take out eggs, and once we take suppose there is a male fish which is around 2 kg, and we think that okay, he's healthy enough, and somehow is not got proper food, or he was not into the same lot we were doing the proper care taking. It was not properly taken care of. So it will give cements. When we strip it, it will give cements, but that cement will not be that strong enough, even if it is mature enough to give a healthy seed. So that's why I was telling the proper, you have to take a proper separate care of the mother and as well as the male and the female fish separately. So it's always advisable to keep the female separate, male separate, feed them properly, depending on the species, which species they are. So they are well fed, healthy, and they are taken care of. So uh, the production will definitely affect once the male and female both are properly fed and they are healthy, and their eggs will be definitely become healthy. Hello?
I'll move on to the next question, sir. Just a
Yeah.
minute. Are there any particular environmental factors that can hinder the fish breeding and how can they be mitigated?
Environmental factor. Well, see, only one environmental factor which I've already mentioned is the weather conditions. Is the temperature. I see that if it is going very high, then it's a problem, or it is getting very low, then it's a problem. The second thing, other than this, uh, nowadays underground water is also getting like, and when we get the borewell done at 400 feet, still sometimes. When the temperature is high, the water level definitely goes down. Uh, with the groundwater level. That time we have seen, we have not seen it previously because last year we had a good amount of rain, so the water level maintained. But this year we have seen that the water parameters again, it was getting hard water was getting generated because the water level at the top of the 200 feet or the 250 feet are getting dry. So the water at 400 level also is again, this is something which we can't control at all. So we have to regularly keep test. Every time we breed, we generally do a weekly test of the water quality, which what kind of water qualities are there. So the testing lab, and it's not easy to set up a testing lab. So every uh, if we it's advisable to find a good testing lab or where we get the water tested regularly on regular basis. So uh, this generally environmental conditions which I see is the one is the temperature, which is definitely and low rainfall. Like this year also we have very low monsoon rain. So definitely this will affect the next cycle which is there. So we have to be informed and be prepared for that. So definitely this water level, which we never thought that the temperature will decrease the water level because we were in constant in contact and we got the water tested. This is where we found out okay the hardness is going high, and again we started mixing the tank water into the water borewell water, and then we started going into those process. But definitely we told that why it is getting hard, the hardness is again rising. Then again the scientists told that the groundwater above which is getting dried up or due to low rainfall is not getting refurnished. So definitely the groundwater below will also get hardness will increase. This is something to do with I think pollution and other stuff, external factors.
Okay. Okay. How do you manage potential aggression or territorial behavior among breeding fish?
See, the aggression of this thing is only into the uh, ornamental fish because we generally do the freshwater breeding. So we have, and it's done manually. So we don't see this aggression or territorial behavior. But in definitely ornamental fish, it is there. Uh, we don't deal with that much with ornamental fish. So only we breed a koi carp, which is Japanese koi. So that again we're doing through the stripping method on natural habitat. We don't have that the real problem of these things which we face.
Okay.
So,
Are there any genetic or hereditary issues that can arise during fish breeding, and how are they addressed?
yes, definitely it is there. That's why, as I told you, we keep changing the broods every 2 years because if there is any genetic disorder, see, there are two ways we can generate brood. What we do is we get a set of brooders. We breed them for the first year. Then we get baby fish, and then we sell most of them, and there are definitely few which are left, and they are with us. So within the next cycle, like 1 year, 2 years, they grow up and they are also ready to breed. But the thing is, if we keep using the same sibling and again, so there will be a degradation in the same genetic disorder will keep continuing. So we keep mixing. The best advice is to keep mixing the broods. So get a fresh lot of new broods from the market or from the natural resources which is there. Like we get it from the rivers. Uh, get the old one, sell it to the market and get the new brooders and keep rotating the brooders continuously. Because as well, not every year it keeps changing brooders, but 2, 3 years down the line, generally it is advisable to change the brooders so you have a healthy bloodline maintained.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. We like to thank Mr. Saket Kashyap for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, sir.